Right, hi guys, and welcome to Forking Allotment. Today we're going to be doing a sowing guide and general jobs guide that we can be doing in August. So first off, we're going to cover the jobs that we can do in August. So as I say, August can be really busy for the allotmenteer or the gardener, basically, and there's plenty of jobs to be done. So depending on the weather, there may be a lot of work to do on watering. So you may need to do a lot of watering in August, depending on how the weather goes. If you're going away on holiday, you need to prepare for that as well. We'll cover that a little bit later on anyway. What we can do though is a lot of plants can be harvested this month. So we can harvest things like our carrots, runner beans, beetroot, globe artichokes could be harvested as well, cucumbers and courgettes, and your second early potatoes. You could also harvest your onions and shallots, leave them to dry, somewhere dry, for them to dry out before you store them. And we can also be pruning our summer apples and pear trees. As I say, some fruits can be pruned in the summer, such as your apples, your trained apples and pear trees, and your plums. You could also prune your spur fruiting apple trees as well in the summer. Keep a watch out for pests and diseases, especially flea beetles on your brassicas and related plants as well. Like, just watch out for flea beetles on brassicas and any related plants such as the Swiss chard and rocket and such, like anything that is a brassica. So we also need to look out for blossom end rot on our tomatoes, which can be caused by irregular watering. We can also cut down our summer fruiting raspberries. Once they've fruited, we can cut them down to the ground so that they are ready for next year. As I say, if you're going away on holiday, give the plot a good watering before you go, really good soaking, and make sure that it's really well watered. Also, harvest as many crops as you can, even if they're small. Harvest them because you don't want them going over. Or alternatively, I would give it a good watering beforehand anyway, but also you could see if you could get a friend or a neighbour in your allotment to come and look after your plot for you while you're away. I mean, you could just say to them that anything that comes up while they're there, they can help themselves do, just as a sort of payment for doing it. And also obviously let them know what to prioritise if they're not really savvy with what's going on in the allotment. Right, we also have our greenhouse and polytunnel. Now I'm making this as a sort of joint video. I made a greenhouse and polytunnel video on its own before. So in your greenhouse and polytunnel, you need to be keeping an eye out for your pests, especially keeping an eye on your plants this month, because pests and diseases can be rife at this time of the year, coming into August. Water more frequently and heavily, obviously, in your greenhouse and your polytunnel at this time of year. You want to be watering 2 to 3 times a week, just to make sure that you're keeping everything nice and watered and happy. Do not try to avoid watering in the evening, because this can encourage the spread of fungal diseases. So maybe try and water in the late afternoon rather than in the actually in the evening. Ventilate your greenhouse as much as possible. And your polytunnel. Sometimes this isn't always as much as possible. Sometimes this isn't always possible to give it a lot of ventilation, but open a window, or if you're at the plot, try and keep the doors open while you're there. Or if you're in a secure area, you could always keep doors open if you know you're not going to get anything getting in there, like rabbits or rats or mice or anything like that. We're right on the edge of fields here, so we have a lot of problems with rabbits and mice. So we just have to be a bit wary of that. Make sure that you're taking your side shoots and training your tomatoes, your cucumbers and your melons, so that you're not getting them, so they're not going to be getting too bushy, and always take your side shoots out, because that's going to encourage growth on your tomatoes and your cucumbers and your melons. Remove any lower discoloured leaves or diseased leaves on your tomatoes, cucumbers and melons as well, just to encourage them to grow and to stop the rest, if there's any disease, to stop the diseases from actually getting into anything else. Check on your plants regularly for pests and diseases. Remove any dead or diseased plants. This may seem obvious, but it's not always obvious. Remove any dead or diseased plants, or diseased or dead plant parts, such as leaves. If there's any dead or diseased leaves, remove them from the plant, because this will spread to the rest of the plant. Always especially keep an eye out for grey mould on your tomatoes and many of your other plants in your greenhouse and polytunnel. Harvest your crops regularly when they're ready, not when you want the crops. Harvest the crops when they are ready to be harvested. I cannot stress that enough, because it will promote more growth and it will make the plant a lot healthier. Keep an eye out for pests, as I've said: greenhouse whitefly, tomato moth, caterpillars, aphids, red spider mites, and obviously slugs and snails. I've had a big problem in my greenhouse with slugs and snails. Absolutely. And it was between slugs, snails and caterpillars. Absolutely decimated my brassicas. I have no brassicas in my greenhouse anymore, thanks to cabbage white butterflies, caterpillars, and slugs. Absolutely decimated my Chinese cabbage and my broccoli that were in my greenhouse. So that was a really nice day. Not. Spray any plants that are susceptible to aphids with garlic spray every 7 days. Garlic will stop. Aphids don't like the smell of garlic. Neither do a lot of other pests. So should keep a lot of pests away from your plants if you spray them with a garlic spray. So what are we going to be talking about now? So let's go on to sowing outdoors. So what can we be sowing outdoors this time of year in August? Right, so we can be sowing chicory. This is our red or sugarloaf chicory. We can be sowing Chinese cabbage, direct or in modules. It's best sown either direct or in modules, and say modules because they don't like their roots being disturbed. Same with, we've got kale and kohlrabi as well. Both of those again don't like their roots being disturbed, so best sown into modules or direct. Lamb's lettuce is a very hardy winter salad. It's also called corn salad. And it will last through the winter, and it flowers in the spring, and flowers can be eaten in the spring. Landcress, again an excellent substitute. This is an excellent substitute for watercress. It's very winter hardy, and it will survive pretty much the toughest of winters in the UK. Your winter lettuces can also be sown now, either in modules or outdoors, for a November or December harvest. Onion seeds can be sown now into modules usually, or you can sow them out direct. I'd say they're more like your autumn sown Japanese potatoes. So try Shinshu Yellow or Keep Well, and they'll be ready to harvest in June next year. Obviously, your onion sets can be sown in September. We'll get to that when we get to September. Spring onions, your winter spring onion varieties, they can be sown outdoors now. Any oriental greens such as your Mizuna, Mibuna and mustard greens. Pak choy, again, can be sown outdoors or into modules. I will discuss modules in a little while anyway, because we were doing that for the greenhouse and polytunnel sowings. Your peas, now this is the last chance to get your peas in for an autumn harvest. You want to try a quick growing early variety such as a Douche Provence or Meteor, and they are the best varieties to try, sort of an early variety. It doesn't have to be those two varieties in particular, but an early quick growing variety. Radish and Mooley radishes, they can go outside now. So can your winter radishes, winter radishes such as China Rose and Black Spanish. Rocket can be sown outside now. Spinach, perpetual spinach. Spring onions, I said that. Spring cabbage. Swiss chard, turnips, and winter purslane or Claytonia, as it's also called. Claytonia is a very winter hardy salad. It can be sown direct up until the end of August. Right, so what else can we be doing in the greenhouse and the polytunnel? That was outdoor sowings, those ones. This is the greenhouse and polytunnel sowings now, and planting. So what can we plant into our polytunnel now? What we can be planting in the polytunnel, anything that we grew last month, say roughly 4 weeks ago. So all of the crops that we grew last month in our modules can be planted into our beds in the greenhouse now, this month in August. So this would include Calabrese, Chinese cabbage, Claytonia, coriander, dill, chervil, Florence fennel, lettuce, your oriental brassicas such as your Mizuna, Mibuna and mustard salad, your pak choy, your parsley and your spring onions. So sowing into modules and pots now. This is one thing that we do every month, is what you can sow into pots. Well, we'll be doing all of this every month now, but sowing into pots and modules, this is going to be the main thing that we're going to concentrate on a lot, especially coming up to the winter, because it will be better off sowing these plants in our greenhouse and polytunnel in modules or pots. So we'll be using Calabrese, which is, if you don't know what Calabrese is, basically it's your like your broccoli, the heading type of broccoli, not a sprouting broccoli. We would sow one seed per cell. Chard would be again one seed per cell. Chinese cabbage could be sown again this month. That would be one seed per cell again. Claytonia winter purslane, 5 seeds per cell. Chervil, coriander and dill, again 5 seeds per cell. Florence fennel, 1 seed per cell. Lettuce, 1 to 3 seeds per cell. I usually say if it's a larger variety of lettuce to sow just 1 seed per cell. If it's a smaller type of lettuce like your little gem lettuces, then sow 3 seeds per cell. Your oriental brassicas again, Mibuna, Mizuna, rocket and mustard. 5 seeds per cell on these. Then pak choy, 1 seed per cell. Parsley, curly and flat leaf, they can be sown 4 seeds per cell. Your bunching spring onions, such as either an evergreen bunching or an Ishikura bunching, they can be sown 10 seeds per cell. And then you've got your annual type of spinach and normal spinach, that is 4 seeds per cell, and your perpetual spinach, which will be 1 seed per cell, or your spinach beet, as some people call it. What could we be harvesting in our polytunnel now? So, harvesting now would be, the main thing to concentrate on would be to harvest your cucumbers and your courgettes at least twice a week, and to be harvesting your tomatoes, chilies and aubergines at least once. Sorry, your cucumbers and courgettes at least twice a week, and your tomatoes, peppers and aubergines at least once a week. I think I said twice a month. I'll have to watch that back to find out. And then what other things can we be harvesting from our polytunnel and greenhouse? If we put things in at the right times, then we should be able to harvest aubergines, basil, coriander, Chinese cabbage, chilies, courgettes, cucumbers, dill, Florence fennel, French beans, you can grow French beans in the polytunnel, lettuce, melons, pak choy, peppers, salad leaf, spring onions, spinach and tomatoes. Now these can all be done, this is what we can do this month. Now as I always say, please do like, subscribe and comment. Please do let me know if there's anything you'd like me to cover in future videos, and thank you for joining me today. Now as I say, this is something we will be doing every month. There's a sowing guide as to what we can be sowing this month. This month being August. Also, what we can be doing this month as well is, if we've got spare beds outside, is to be sowing a green manure. I have covered green manures in an introduction to green manures in my last video. I will link the video at the end of this. I'll put the video up on the end of the video, and you guys can watch that. I will also, next week, I will also be doing a like beginner's guide to green manures, because I know some people are a little bit afraid of them and think maybe they're not really for the allotment here, they're more for farmers and things like that. So we'll be doing a beginner's guide to green manures next week, sorry. That will be starting on Monday. I'll be doing a first video for that on Monday, and I aim to finish it probably by the week after. So there'll probably be a video on Monday, a video on Wednesday, a video on Friday, and then we'll see how we get on with that, as to whether I need to make further videos. I think it's probably going to be, it probably should suffice to make 3 videos for this beginner's guide, but there may be 4, possibly even 5 videos, depending on the amount of content that is in each video. So guys, to keep this under 20 minutes, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me, and please, as I said, please do like, subscribe and comment, and please do let me know either on any of my socials. You can find my social media up on the banner up at the top. There should be actually links there now to my social media, my Twitter and my Instagram up there. The 2 main ones that I'm more active on is my Twitter and my Instagram. So check me out there, and you can always send me a DM on Instagram or on Twitter. So yeah, as I said, thank you for joining me. Like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching Forking Allotment, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much, and I shall see you all in the next video.